We thought we'd get a handle on why are there delayed responses to this? Why do we find out about cases days after the fact? There's apparently a good medical reason for that. Who better than Dr. Rosie Chauhan to talk about this, the symptoms consumers should be looking for. She's a rheumatologist, internist, and cosmetologist. Doctor, thanks for taking the time. Why do we have this delay in people responding? Is that usual with this type of stuff, that there is a delay in this evidencing itself?
Well, there's an incubation period associated with many bacteria, and so this is just one of them. I mean, and the other thing to know is that this is not just a bacterium like Salmonella, it has a toxin associated with it too. So all these things take time to affect the gut. And the incubation period for this particular strain, which is Ecoli 026, has about 3 to 7 day incubation period, and the actual illness can last about a week after that.
Why are we hearing so many of these cases? That I think in Chipotle's case, doctor, after they had a prior incident with beef, or tainted beef, or compromised beef, they were never going to the cheapest supplier of beef. In fact, they tended to err toward expensive, pricey suppliers with no hint of prior problems or issues, and yet it happened. It could be that a disproportionate number of their food items are beef related, what have you, but what do they do? How do they search this out? What do you do?
Well, previously it was, I think it was just a lot of legwork. I have to say I quite admire the institutions that look into this, like the CDC and the FDA. But now Chipotle says that they have a new tracking system where they can go back and look at produce, let's say, all the way from the farm to the restaurant. And so that's one way that they can track and see where the problem was. And when you talk about how it is that this is spread so quickly, the problem is that this is not necessarily a problem associated with one restaurant, which is what may have happened with a norovirus infection. Initially, it was thought to be sourced to one restaurant. This might be an upstream problem where distributors and farms, etc., may be involved in this. And the ironic thing is that sometimes, as Chipotle has actually advocated too, when you use less preservatives and advocate more of a farm versus factory approach to your produce and your restaurants, you might get more infections.
Ironic. All right. So I might be fine with my processed meats and cheeses, is what you're saying, doctor. But I'll get you again to sort of confirm that as my new ad campaign. Doctor, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.